I told you that a brand new German car part caused lots of problems with this car and that they were fixed by using a 40-year-old Italian equivalent, you'd probably think I was crazy. Well, stick around and wait and see. Hello everybody and welcome to the ongoing saga of the Influenzo. Well, if this is the first time you're watching, as a quick recap, I bought this car unseen from an auction about a year and a half ago, just before lockdown, and it has been nothing but trouble ever since. I've had some real highs and some real lows with the car, but let's jump forward quite a bit of time to one of the recent issues that I've still got. One of them is that when you try and turn right, this car completely bogs down, and it is something that is really irritating, as you can imagine. It really sort of detracts from the driving pleasure. So it's something that I've been wanting to solve, but I've been trying to solve it for the last month. I have done 2 videos already detailing the fix. Ferrari 308s are known, especially this kind of Ferrari, for bogging down on right-hand corners. That's because the carburetors in this car are transverse. Normally they are in line. The fact that they are transverse with the engine means that the floats are affected by the G-forces of the car, that the fuel sloshes around more. So they can suffer from it. So float height is critical, and I spent a lot of time adjusting the floats to try and vary the amount of fuel in the float bowls, because if you have too much fuel, it can overflow and get into the main jets. If you don't have enough fuel, it can starve the main jets. After that, in the last episode, I thought, okay, I'm going to exclude the whole fuel system up to the carbs, and I rigged up a fuel pressure sensor, and we took it for a drive, and we saw that the fuel pressure wasn't an issue. So that excludes the fuel tanks, the fuel pump, and everything going up to that point. So it's not the pickups, it's not the filter, nothing like that. I also hooked up the feed to the coils, and we looked at the voltage to that, and that was also pretty constant. So it's none of those issues. That left me in a bit of a quandary, having supposedly excluded almost everything, because also the carbs, don't forget, had been rebuilt. I really almost didn't know where to turn next. So today, what I'm doing is one last thing to completely exclude the electric system before I start delving into those carbs again. I can't see how it would be the carbs, but all the same, that's the way forward. So I have bought 8 of these spark testers, and the idea is that I put one on top of each cylinder. They will then show if the cylinders are firing. I've already fitted them to the car, so you can see an example of that happening right now. I hooked up some cameras, 1 to each bank, and I'm really hopeful that the cameras will be good enough to get a picture of that, so that when I'm driving generally, and especially when I go around corners, I can see if any of the plugs are not firing. Because if that's the case, then I can look at the electrical system again. If they are all firing, the only thing left for me to do is to take the carbs apart again, or look more into the carbs, and I really don't want to do that because I fixed them myself, so there's always the chance that I did something wrong. I did do something wrong when I first rebuilt them, actually, but I found that out. But in this case, I just can't see what I could have done that would be causing it. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's hope that we can get this sorted. So we've got to bear in mind that I won't know what's happening until we go and edit. So at the moment, I have no clue what's going on, except for on this right-hand corner here, it usually bogs down. And here it does again. So hopefully, and again, hopefully I'll be able to see with those cameras at the back if any of the spark plugs have stopped sparking. There's another right-hander here, and you see it does it at very slow speeds. There we go. So at the moment, actually, you'll all be seeing what's on the cameras, and you'll know if anything is showing or not before I do. So here's one last right-hander, and then we'll call it quits, because that should be enough to show something. There we go. Yeah. Picks up so instantly once the car is straightened out that I just wonder if if it is electrical rather than fuel, but hopefully we'll soon see. Right everybody, I am on tenterhooks. You already know. I don't. I have downloaded everything on the laptop and got all the files synced up. So are we ready to see? That's when I crunch the first gear, so that's the left-hander. We're coming up to the right-hander. Right. Oh my God! And again! Oh my God, did you see that? Oh my God, that is amazing! No way, so... Oh, this is the first time that I think I found something that's pointing to the issue. This is absolutely amazing. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm pretty happy. Not only did the spark plug lights show that there was an issue, but better still, they show that there's an issue with the whole bank, which makes diagnostics quite a bit easier. So it's just brilliant, brilliant news. Now, let me explain to you what's happening. It is the rear bank which is completely going dead on right corners. If you look at the distributor here, I've marked in red the bits that correspond to the spark plugs on the right bank. They in turn correspond to the king lead coming from the coils. This one, this top king lead, which goes to the top coil. Now, it's not absolutely certain that this is down to the coil, but it's going to be either the coil or it's going to be the amplifier beneath the coil. It has to be one of those things, or the wiring around that coil, but it is on that top coil pack that this issue is. Now, I replaced both coils, which is why I never even considered this to be an issue, because they are both new. Thankfully, these old Marelli ones that I had before, they're still working just fine as far as I'm aware. So all I need to do is replace this top coil, take it out for another drive, and then we will see if it's fixed. The tension is killing me. It might not be that coil, it could be something else there. It could be a bit of wiring on the coil, it could be the amplifier under the coil, but it's definitely in that area. So left-hander, as always, okay. Right-hander, is it going to bog down? Oh my God, it isn't bogging down! Oh my God! Oh my God, right-handers! I can do right-handers! That is just absolutely amazing! The Influenzo can turn right! The new coil was faulty. Who would have said that? And how bizarre that it only manifested on right-hand corners. That is really amazing, brilliant, and weird. It's a Bosch coil as well, so I didn't go for a cheapie, but the old Marelli, which I'm pretty sure it looks like it's the original coil, is still doing the job. Oh, for once I have fixed something really annoying, and the Influenzo now turns. Thank you all for bearing with me and for supporting me. I don't know if you have been supporting me, but if you have, thanks. That is just brilliant, and that just gives me a bit more impetus. The next things are that rattle at 4,500 revs, which has been incredibly difficult to find, and of course the oil usage. So I think for the next video I am going to try and use one of those additives, oil additives, and see whether they can clean up, because essentially the possibility is that the rings, the oil control rings, are gummed up. So there is a possibility that with some good oil cleaner, oil flush, it could actually fix that. Since I've fixed one thing, it's worth keeping on with the momentum. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and I really look forward to seeing you for the next video. And this is my Instagram as well. If you want to send me any messages, Instagram is the best way. Yes, we're ending on a high.